Go back to a right-handed hitter, if you will. It's very important for me as a coach to know that. Back to a right-handed hitter, double play depth. It's very important for me to know where these guys are at. Okay, let's go back to one depth if we can. Right-handed hitter. One depth, right-handed hitter. Okay, the other thing, so we got one depth, we're showing one depth, we're showing two depth. Let's show four depth. Four depth is even with the baseline. Johnny's coming straight in toward the plate. This is four depth right here. We know that. That's for a right-handed hitter. On four depth, a left-handed hitter, as a team, we would move over 2 steps that way. Okay, so we know that. That's four depth for a guy. I understand that four depth is probably the place we're going to play with one out and a man on third base. Because we think with one out, most of the time, most of the teams are going to be running on one out and challenging the infield. With no outs, we might be playing 3 depth, thinking the one thing they're telling the guy at third base is do not make the first out at the plate. So we're trying to go back to right-hander, if you will, both of you guys, and go back two or 3 steps. Okay, so we're back 2 or 3 steps. So we're challenging the third base coach, the opposing team, thinking, okay, probably he's not going to run because we're not going to make the out. Now, you know, if there's a buffalo at third base, you can move a little bit deeper, creep a little bit deeper. If the guy can really run, you may have to take a step in. Knowing the players is very important. So that's 3 depth, which is what we're playing with no outs, because I'm telling the guy on third base, the base runner, do not make the first out at the plate. So we move back, 1 out, and I'm telling him we're going on the ball on the ground, read it, get a good jump, go hard and do it. And that's our positioning right there for our 1 depth, our 2 depth, 3 depth, 4 depth. Go back to 1 depth, if you will, with a right-handed hitter. Okay, now this is straight up. So as I said, JD is doing our charting and our scouting of the opposing team. So he's knowing how we're pitching guys. He's knowing what the pitch is. He knows who the pitcher is and what the tendency is of their hitters. So therefore, I rely on him in doing the scouting to tell me whether he thinks guys are pull or opposite way. And it depends on the pitcher and the other team. So we know this is straight up as a team, all 4 infielders. We know this is 2 steps pull, 7.5. Edgar, 7.5. So we move as a team. We're 7.5. Understand that these 2 guys are doing the same thing. And that's a right-handed hitter that's pull. And then let's say this guy's a dead pull hitter. We'll actually go 7, which is 4 steps, so 2 more steps. So then we know where our guys are at. Johnny's in the hole here. Edgar's a little bit more toward the line. And we do that as a team. Once in a while, we'll see a lot of guys hit the ball in this hole right here, so we'll actually move Edgar over a little bit if that happens, and if we tell him more straight up and Johnny. Okay, go back to straight up, 8 up, if you will, which is 4 steps. Okay, we say we got a right-handed hitter again. Let's say this guy's got a slow bat, he hits the ball opposite way, so now we're going to say 8.5. So we're 2 steps opposite way. And then, okay, so we're there, and again, everybody's moving. The last guy, this guy's a really slow bat, so we're going to play him 9. So 2 more steps. So you can see we're really shading that right-handed hitter to that side. The same thing applies to where you start with a left-handed hitter or to a right-handed hitter in this position right here. So this is where we're starting our guys, and I know every time from the dugout where they're at, I'm sitting the same place. I like to sit and see the wall advertisement, and I can see if Johnny at shortstop is lined up, and I'm telling him this, I know where that sign is behind him, or Edgar at third base, I can see over here to know where every position player is. And we're controlling it based on the way the pitcher's throwing